Hey guys, Dex Williams here from OfflineToolkit.com, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can accomplish your dreams, whether it's pay off your bills, quit your job, buy a new car, travel the world, faster and easier than you're probably doing right now. So what is the reason why I created this video? Well, the reason I created this video is because I often get asked about strategies or tips or techniques that somebody can use to, achieve a specific goal that they're working on. For example, someone might contact me and say, I was wondering if you could, give me a great strategy so that I can quit my job, or a great technique I can use to make some extra money so I can get out of debt. But when I ask them, okay, well, what are you currently doing right now, or when would you like to accomplish this by? They don't really have a plan in place. And without the little details in place, the goals that you're trying to accomplish can seem a lot harder and a lot more difficult than they actually are. I mean, take that old saying, for example, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Well, the same thing goes for your goals. To accomplish your goals, you need to break your big goal, your giant elephant, down into tiny bite-sized pieces so that you can, bit by bit, start knocking away at these little chiseled steps and then hit your goal. So what I wanted to do was actually show you the success formula. This is a formula that you can use to accomplish your goals easier and simpler and faster and quicker and better than you're probably doing right now, because you're going to break it down into smaller bite-sized pieces. So what is the first step of the success formula for each goal that you have? Well, you need to be specific. So what do I mean by specific? Well, I mean, you actually need to give a set goal. If your goal is to, get out of debt, well, what is your goal? It's not to get out of debt, it's to come up with X amount of dollars, which would pay off your debts. Does that make sense? And hopefully it does. So that's where we get to the next part, which is V, which stands for verifiable. So what do I mean by verifiable? It means that somebody, a third party, an outsider looking in, can look at what you're doing with your goals and say, okay, your goal is to, pay off $50,000 in bills. How do I verify that you have accomplished this goal? Well, when your balance says 0, it's been verified. You have accomplished your goal. Same thing goes for if your goal is to buy a car. Well, that car has a specific amount attributed to it. So in order to buy that car, you need to generate a specific amount. And once you've achieved that amount, you'll know you've hit your goal to buy that car. Does that make sense? I hope it does. The next step, or the next part of the formula, stands for timeline. And this is where a lot of people drop the ball. They'll say, I want to quit my job, or I want to buy a car, I want to get out of debt, but they don't give themselves a timeline. A goal should have a target time that you want to achieve it by. If your goal is to buy a car, well, do you want to buy a new car this year, next month, next week, 10 years from now? Because based on your timeline, you'll know what steps or how long you have to actually achieve your goal. I mean, if you have 1 week to pay off your bills as opposed to 1 year, what you do to accomplish that goal will probably be very different, may or may not be. The last part needs to have a measurable progression. So what do I mean by measurable progression? Well, I mean, you need to be able to see that you're making progress on your timeline to your specific goal. If your goal is to buy a new car, let's say 30 days from now, in 1 month, well, you know that you've got 30 days to achieve this. And you know that you need to come up with $25,000 to know that you've accomplished this goal. Well, how are you going to know that you're making progress towards raising that amount unless you're tracking it, unless you're watching your bank account or wherever you're keeping this money increase? Well, what if at the same time you've got bills coming in, you're paying bills, and your balance is decreasing? How are you going to know that you're progressing towards accomplishing that goal or moving further away from it? That's the point of this last step. So let me break it down so that's a bit easier to understand. Let's say your goal, and many offline marketers have this goal of going full-time with offline marketing. Okay, well, in order to go full-time with offline marketing, you probably want to quit your job. Let's say hypothetically that you're making $50,000 per year right now. All right, so that's what you're making right now. So in order to go full-time marketing, you probably want to replace this $50,000 a year income because that's what your lifestyle is based off of. Well, in order to do that, you probably want to, and I recommend you do this, have about 3 to 6 months worth of your expenses saved up so that, if you have a dry spell, if it takes a bit longer, maybe it takes a couple extra weeks or a month before money starts rolling in, you're not struggling, you're not panicking. So in this case, your specific goal is to save up $12,000 to $24,000 so that you can feel comfortable and relaxed into going full-time with offline marketing. Well then, based off that, we can verify that once we accomplish $12,000 to $24,000, we've accomplished our goal. So the next part is T, time. Well, in this case, let's say hypothetically, we give ourselves 6 months to hit this goal. We want to save up a savings within $12,000 to $24,000 within 6 months. That's the timeline. So in order to do that, we need to come up with a measurable progression. How are we going to know that we're moving towards that goal? Well, if we generate $2,000 to $4,000 per month, then we will be able to hit this goal. Break it down even further. If we hit $500 to $1,000 per week, we'll also know that we're moving towards that goal. So end result, if we are making between $500 to $1,000 per week or $2,000 to $4,000 per month, we will know that we are progressing on schedule towards our goal of saving $12,000 to $24,000 and going full-time with offline marketing in 6 months. Now let's say hypothetically we're only generating $200 to $300 per week. Well, now we know that we aren't progressing as much as we need to be to hit this goal, and that we're not going to hit this target of 6 months. We might still eventually, within a year, 2 years, 10 years, generate enough to save up for this. But you have a specific goal with a specific timeline that you want to accomplish this. Same thing goes with if you're buying a car or if you're trying to lose weight. If you want to lose weight, how much weight? Okay? What is the sign? What is the verified amount to know that we've accomplished this? Well, when the scale says 200 or 100, we'll know that we have lost the weight that we wanted to lose. Well, what's the timeline? Do we have 10 years to lose this weight, or do we want to lose it in 5 months? Same thing goes here. Measurable progression, 2 pounds to 4 pounds a week. If we're not losing 2 pounds a week, we're not going to hit our goal weight within the timeline that we've set up. So I hope that makes sense. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to come up with a list of 5 to 10 goals that you're trying to accomplish for 2011. Now with each one of those goals, I want you to specify exactly what you're trying to accomplish with that goal, how you're going to verify that you achieve that goal, the timeline for when you want to accomplish this goal by, and how you're going to know that you're moving towards that goal. For example, if your goal is to go full-time with offline marketing, you need to come up with a business plan, a business model for how you're going to accomplish $500 to $1,000 per week. This is what your pricing with clients will be based off of. If you know you need to come up with $500 to $1,000 per week, will that be based off having 100 clients paying you $5 per week? Or is that going to be based off having 5 clients paying you between $100 to $200 per week? Now that you know how much you need to generate, you can pick a business model that will create this sort of income. Same thing goes with weight loss. You would need a diet that can provide you with 2 to 4 pounds in weight loss per month or per week. So I hope that makes sense. What I want you to do is, once you've done that list, that goal list for 2011, comment below this video with one of those goals, a specific, verified, timeline, measurable goal that you want to accomplish in 2011 so that you can be publicly accountable for achieving that goal. And then come back and comment below once you've achieved that goal. In the meantime, if you want to see more videos like this, visit us at offlinetoolkit.com. More videos, resources, and tips for improving your marketing business. In the meantime, this is Dex, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.